The Pinarello Dogma. It's a model that we first saw from the Italian brand back in 2002, back when it was made from magnesium. Its first proper launch, though, came in 2009, the Dogma 60.1. In the 10 years since, it has undergone all sorts of upgrades and evolutions, and we have got an exclusive first look at the latest model. This is the Pinarello Dogma FS. It's probably not going to take you too long to work out what FS stands for when you take a look at this. It is full suspension. This is the bike that 5 of Team Sky's riders are going to be using this coming Sunday at the 2019 Paris Roubaix. It's a bike that has been designed to be at its best over the worst roads that northern France has to offer. And as such, I think that compliance, comfort and bike handling were most definitely at the top of Pinarello's design spec sheet. Before we get on to the actual suspension part of this bike, there are a few slightly more subtle design features to the new Dogma FS here. First up, there's a slightly more relaxed head angle at the front there, and there's also longer chainstays than you would have on the standard Dogma. Reason for both of those is extra compliance, but also better bike handling over the rough stuff. These chainstays are also designed to give 11 millimeters of vertical movement. Now, with most modern carbon bikes, there is a degree of compliance there at the chainstays, but since most of them have normally got a rigid piece of carbon for the seat stays between the rear wheel axle here and the seat tube, that compliance is not used to full capacity. I know, what you really want to know about though is the suspension. Well, it is provided by suspension experts Hi-Ride. It has been used on Pinarello's previous K-series models. This particular system is called ESAS, which stands for Electric Smart Adaptive System. And the rear suspension you may well have seen in the past on the previous K10S model. However, what you won't have seen before is the front suspension. And that is because it is brand new. It's basically like a head shock type system here with 20 millimeters of travel provided by a metal spring which is hidden inside the head tube. It's got hydraulic damping and lockout, and it adds a not unreasonable 300 grams of total weight to the bike. And the smart part of the system is a whole load of sensors which are located here in the seat tube. They will constantly monitor the terrain and the conditions that the bike is riding over, and it reacts remarkably quickly to the differing terrain. So it takes just 1/10 of a second for the entire suspension system to be locked or indeed unlocked. No real need then for a rider to make on-the-fly adjustments, but if they want to, they can. There's a button here on the down tube which they can use to adjust it, or indeed if they've connected it via ANT+ or Bluetooth, you can also control the suspension using your head unit or the app on your smartphone. Now, there is 3 options when it comes to the suspension settings. You can either have race mode, tourist mode, or custom mode. With tourist mode, it takes much less of an impact for the suspension system to kick in. With race mode, it takes a lot more. Custom mode, as you can probably guess, means that you decide yourself how sensitive you want the whole thing to be. All of the sensors are located inside the smart battery, which, as mentioned, is here in the seat tube and held in place by the 2 bottle cage bolts. Now, full suspension is obviously a brand new thing to the world of road bikes, but it is not a new thing to the company Hi-Ride. They have a history of providing the necessary algorithms to the automotive industry to provide their smart suspension system. So it's safe to say they're a company that knows what it's doing when it comes to suspension. The down tube here, as many of you will have noticed, takes a lot of the characteristics from the Bolide time trial bike or the Dogma F10 in that it's got a concave trailing edge here, which helps with the integration of the bottle cage and the bottle from an aerodynamics point of view. Now, I know a lot of you will be questioning whether you at home need to have full suspension on your road bike if you're not riding the cobbles of Paris Roubaix, but it will absorb all the imperfections of a normal road too, which might not just make you more comfortable, it could actually make you faster. So our brains are programmed to associate high frequency vibration with speed. So for example, if you've got your tyres pumped up to 120 psi or 8 bar, it feels like you're going fast. But the reality is that generally when things are smoother, you're going faster. Take for example running wider tyres at a lower pressure. Rather than bouncing around all over the place, the tyres will absorb the small vibrations of the road, keep you in contact with the ground more, and that will be faster. And to take a really extreme example, you may remember that a few years ago we tested different types of bikes over the cobbles of Paris Roubaix, and the outcome of that was that the mountain bike was the fastest. Despite it being the least aerodynamic position and the heaviest, the suspension and the bigger tyres absorbed all the vibrations, and that made it faster. Pinarello claimed that this bike over the Carrefour de l'Arve, one of the hardest sectors of Paris Roubaix, is about 10% faster than a standard rigid road bike. Now, you can take some manufacturers' claims with a pinch of salt, but given our own tests of different bikes and also what we know about compliance and comfort over cobblestones, I wouldn't be at all surprised if that's very accurate. And I guess the proof's going to be in the pudding. This coming Sunday, Dylan van Baarle will be using this bike, Luke Rowe will be on one, as will Owain Doull, Gianni Moscon and Ian Stannard. So we'll see how they get on. Beyond the different frame, the rest of the group set and wheels, etc., is fairly standard Sky equipment. So they've got the Shimano Dura Ace Di2 throughout, the Physique Arione saddle up the top there, the most stem and bars just here. They are running FMB tyres though in 27mm for Paris Roubaix. Right, let us know what you think at home about full suspension on road bike. Is it something that you consider? Or do you not think you would ever need full suspension when you're out riding on the road? As ever, you can let us know your thoughts in the comment section just down below. And if you would like to see that video where we compare the different bikes over the cobbles of Paris Roubaix, you'll be able to find it just down there.